The lost puppy. Sophie had always wanted a dog. She loved animals and often spent time at the local animal shelter, volunteering to help take care of the dogs and cats. One day, on her way home from school, she heard a faint whimpering sound coming from a nearby alley. Curious, she followed the sound and found a small, dirty puppy huddled behind a trash can. The puppy looked scared and hungry. Sophie gently picked him up and noticed he had no collar. She decided to take him home and care for him until she could find his owner. At home, Sophie gave the puppy a bath, fed him, and made a cozy bed for him in a cardboard box. She named him Maximum. Her parents were surprised but supportive, agreeing to let Max stay until they found his owner. Sophie created posters with Max's picture and her contact information, and then posted them around the neighborhood. She also posted on social media and contacted local shelters and vets. Days passed, but no one came forward to claim Maximum. In the meantime, Sophie and Max became inseparable. They played in the yard, went for walks, and cuddled on the couch. Sophie taught Max simple commands like sit and stay, and he quickly became a well-behaved puppy. One afternoon, a woman called Sophie said she recognized Max from the posters. She explained that Max belonged to her elderly neighbor, Mrs. Johnson, who had been frantic since Max went missing. Sophie's heart sank at the thought of losing Max, but knew she had to do the right thing. Sophie and her parents took Max to Mrs. Johnson's house. The elderly woman was overjoyed to see her beloved puppy again. She thanked Sophie profusely and offered her a small reward, but Sophie declined, happy to have reunited Max with his owner. As they left, Mrs. Johnson noticed Sophie's sadness and invited her to visit Max anytime she wanted. Sophie smiled, grateful for the kind offer. She realized that although she would miss Max, she had made a new friend in Mrs. Johnson. A few days later, Mrs. Johnson called Sophie with an idea. She asked if Sophie would like to help take care of Max regularly, as she sometimes struggled with his energetic nature. Sophie eagerly agreed, thrilled to spend time with Max again. From that day on, Sophie visited Mrs. Johnson and Max every afternoon. They played, went for walks, and enjoyed each other's company. Sophie learned that sometimes doing the right thing could lead to even better things. She had found a new friend in Mrs. Johnson, and a special bond with Max that would last a lifetime. The new neighbor. Jack lived in a quiet neighborhood where everyone knew each other. One day, a moving truck arrived at the house next door. Jack watched curiously as a family moved in. There was a boy about his age, and Jack hoped they would become friends. The next day, Jack saw the boy playing in his yard. He walked over and introduced himself. The boy's name was Sam, and he had just moved from a different city. Jack invited Sam to play basketball, and they quickly became friends. Jack showed Sam around the neighborhood, introducing him to other kids. They played games, rode their bikes, and explored the nearby park. Sam was happy to have made a friend so quickly, and Jack was glad to have a new buddy. As the days passed, Jack noticed something strange. Sam seemed sad sometimes, and Jack wondered why. One afternoon, Jack asked Sam if everything was okay. Sam hesitated, but then opened up. He told Jack that he missed his old friends, and was worried he wouldn't fit in at his new school. Jack listened and understood. He assured Sam that he would make new friends, and that he was already a part of their group. Jack had an idea to cheer Sam up. He suggested they have a neighborhood barbecue to welcome Sam and his family. They talked to their parents, who loved the idea and helped organize the event. Invitations were sent out, and everyone pitched in to make it a memorable evening. On the day of the barbecue, the neighborhood gathered in Jack's backyard. There was delicious food, music, and games. Sam's family felt welcomed, and Sam couldn't stop smiling. He realized he was lucky to have moved to such a friendly place. As the sun set and the event came to an end, Sam thanked Jack for being such a good friend. Jack smiled and told him that's what neighbors are for. From that day on, Sam felt more at home, knowing he had a great friend in Jack and a supportive community around him. A day at the beach. Liam and his sister Emma couldn't wait to spend the day at the beach. It was the first day of summer vacation, and their parents had promised them a trip to the seaside. They packed their swimsuits, sunscreen, a beach ball, and snacks for the day. As soon as they arrived, the kids ran towards the water. The ocean waves were inviting, and the sun shone brightly. Liam and Emma spent hours splashing in the waves, building sandcastles, and collecting seashells. Their parents set up a beach umbrella and watched them play. Every now and then, they called the kids back to apply more sunscreen and have some water. The beach was crowded, but everyone seemed to be in a good mood, enjoying the warm weather and the sound of the waves. After a while, Liam and Emma decided to explore the tide pools. They found tiny crabs scuttling along the rocks, and colorful sea anemones waving their tentacles. Emma was fascinated by a starfish she found, carefully picking it up to show her parents. The family sat down for lunch, enjoying sandwiches and fruit. They laughed and talked about their favorite parts of the day so far. After lunch, their parents suggested a beach volleyball game. Liam and Emma teamed up against their parents, and they had a blast, with the kids winning by just 1 point. As the afternoon wore on, the kids noticed dark clouds gathering in the sky. The wind picked up, and their parents decided it was time to pack up and head home. Just as they got to the car, the rain started to fall. They made it just in time, laughing about their close call with the weather. On the drive home, Liam and Emma talked about their favorite memories from the day. They both agreed that the beach was the perfect way to start their summer vacation. As they pulled into their driveway, the rain stopped, and a beautiful rainbow appeared in the sky, making the day even more magical. Mystery in the library. Oliver loved books. He spent most of his free time in the town library, exploring different genres and discovering new stories. One rainy afternoon, he stumbled upon an old, dusty book tucked away in a corner of the library. It had no title on the cover, just a strange symbol. Curious, Oliver opened the book and found it filled with mysterious riddles and puzzles. Each page seemed to lead to the next, creating a maze of clues. Intrigued, Oliver decided to solve the puzzles and uncover the book's secrets. As he worked through the riddles, Oliver noticed that each clue referenced specific books in the library. He pulled the books from the shelves, finding more hidden messages inside. It was like a treasure hunt, and Oliver was determined to find the treasure. After a few hours of searching and solving, Oliver found himself in the library's basement, a place he had never been before. The final clue led him to a locked door. On the door was the same strange symbol from the book's cover. Oliver hesitated, but knocked on the door. To his surprise, it creaked open, revealing a hidden room filled with ancient books and artifacts. In the center of the room stood an old librarian, who introduced herself as Miss Evelyn. Miss Evelyn explained that she had created the puzzle book to find someone worthy of discovering the library's hidden treasures. She had watched Oliver's progress, and was impressed by his determination and love for books. She invited Oliver to explore the hidden room, showing him rare books and manuscripts that were hundreds of years old. Oliver was in awe. Ms. Evelyn told him that these treasures were part of the library's secret collection, preserved for those who truly appreciated the magic of books. From that day on, Oliver became Miss Evelyn's apprentice. He helped her care for the secret collection, and even created new puzzles for future generations of book lovers. Oliver's love for books had led him to a hidden world, and he couldn't be happier.